Right. No worries. We could just laugh about that and not even have to say anything because we
I'm just going
know,
to do
right?
this and leave it alone.
That's probably a good idea. But yeah, and
Well, happy
small and
Thursday
big
night,
things.
everybody. Glad you're here.
Yes, thank you for joining in. It's been a busy day. I told you ahead. I had a Zoom meeting with John Fleming, and
Yep.
we're working on the Association for Entrepreneurship. I'll
And tell
have
me
to.
about that.
Oh, it's awesome. So it's a website and there's like a chat room that people can connect with each other, but it's not just about direct sellers. It's about mixing everybody that's like in the gig economy together.
Sure.
So they have resources there, they have a chat room, they have connections. Like he's got connections to a whole bunch of people in direct sales, but also in business in general. And they've written articles and there's connections to all that stuff. And it's $5 a month. That's it.
Oh, that should move like crazy, I would think.
The connections between the people, because that's my thing anyway. Because whenever I meet new people, I get new business. There's no way around it. That's how it works. So I'm excited to get in there and meet people that are doing Uber for a living, or doing a million other little gig things that aren't necessarily in direct sales. Because usually I hear stuff from them that helps me and vice versa. We can share ideas. So I'm excited to be in a group. They already have in that association a couple 100,000 members, and I want to help show more people, the direct sales people, that we are entrepreneurs, because a lot of them don't think of themselves like that.
Right.
We are entrepreneurs, and we can benefit from something like this,
Right.
because just being able to interact with the other entrepreneurs is part of the
Yeah,
neat thing to be.
everybody that's on any type of commission sale should consider joining something like that.
Yeah.
And every small business owner should too. And then there are just so many connections that you'll make when you get involved with things like that that can prove
And
very
$5 a
fruitful.
month, where can you, and you know what I was gonna tell him, have one of the guys up there or something, or I'll do it, uh, get a badge we can put on our Facebook page so you can be official member or something,
Right.
so that we can all recognize each other,
Yeah.
because I think that would be useful too.
What's John's position with them?
I don't know if he's consultant or what his official position is there. I'm not totally sure. I know it has some connection to insurance offerings too,
Okay.
because they're offering some group insurance and stuff.
Right.
He doesn't sell insurance, so it's not that. But I
Right.
think they tapped into him because they realized that there's a couple different ways to go when we're trying to make something bigger or launch something, right? You can
Right.
either get a PR firm and cross your fingers, throw a bunch of money at, and hope for the best, or you can do relationship marketing, which John is a master of.
Right.
He knows all the ins and out network marketing. No, I'm sure I probably told you this, but I want to share this story if you don't mind.
Yeah.
John, we were at this meeting really early on, so I was probably 22. I think we were at a leadership meeting of leaders, and I've always done stuff on the side, and I think I was selling business cards or something. I was doing something on the side, and one of the other reps stood up at the meeting and I don't know what do you say, berated me about doing something else on the side or whatever it is. And John shut her down and said to me, he didn't yell at her, but he shut her down. And then he looked at me and he said, "Don't you ever apologize for being an entrepreneur. You
Yep.
make money every way you can. Don't you ever apologize for that." And everybody was like, oops. Right. And I've lived by that credo, right?
Right.
Because that was always in my heart anyway.
Well,
Um,
that's the way I kind of feel about life in general. And I've been in situations where that created a problem for who I was working with at the time.
yeah.
And uh, I'll just tell the story when I was, um, no, I probably shouldn't tell this. Okay, I'll tell it anyway. When I
You
was in the,
can't start and then keep saying that. Cut the
uh, Well, when I was in the musical instrument business,
Yeah.
uh, I was managing the Georgia location. I had started in direct sales at that time with Amway, and the owner of the company had an issue with it, and I left. So I was not going to let someone else determine what I could do on my time. So
I'm popping onto Facebook because I realize we're not seeing the comments because I didn't do public. Sorry, that's why we're not seeing the comments. Here we go. I
here
gotta
we
change.
go,
Here we go. I gotta change.
and we're off.
Just 1 second, it will be. Yeah. No, it's funny. And you know what? If you, when I talk to people who are not in entrepreneurial mindset or have any background in that,
Hmm.
here we go. Um, it is a different mindset, don't you think?
Oh, it is. Definitely is.
There we go.
Hi, Ty. Hi, Maureen. Hi, Teresa.
It is
Hey,
a
do I need to
different
go over to
mindset.
my Facebook thing and make it somehow public too? Or does, because I've got this, according to what StreamYard says, it's going out on LinkedIn and Facebook for me as well, but
I'm
I've
not.
never
I'm
done it.
not sure. I don't know. It could be. I'm not sure.
Hi to Ellen.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. The whole yeah, being an entrepreneur thing. To me, it's about, of course, the freedom thing. I'm not necessarily trying to, uh, I don't know, earn the most money ever in the universe. That would be awesome, but I'm not looking at it like it's a lottery thing. I'm actually looking at it more like I don't have to go in and work for some life sucking boss, right? Like, who wants to yell at me? You see, I've had, I don't know. You probably don't have this happen to you as often as women do. Is that sexist? But I've had so many men bosses that they make sure that I know that I'm under them in the totem pole. You know what I
Right.
mean? It just is their they live for it, and I just get sick of it because it's like I know that I get it, I get it. I'm trying to be as respectful as possible, but you don't have to grind it in my face that
Yeah.
that
Well,
I'm not your equal. You know what I mean? I don't.
yeah. I
It's
didn't
annoying.
know the individuals involved, but I'll bet you they were just as big of jerks to the men that worked with them too. So,
Oh, yeah, that's probably
because
true. I
I've
was
had
just thinking
some
it
that
was a girl
were.
thing. Right. I guess I see it more often with well, it's like a 9 to 5 situation, mean bosses being mean to their secretaries
Right.
because, right. It's like that movie,
Yeah.
except I didn't snap and like kidnap my boss or anything like that. Like, you know what happens is I get sick of it and tell them they don't deserve someone like me, which is horrible. Then it makes me sound like I'm conceited, but I just was like, no. I remember I had a really good job. I worked third shift at a convenience store, went downtown, got a really good job as a secretary at a law office. He yelled at me repeatedly. And I said,
Yikes.
I think I lasted 3 months or something. I finally said, listen, I'm not driving way down here for you to yell at me. I can stay up in North Charleston and have that happen. I'm
Yeah.
not doing it. And he said, how about if I raise your pay? I said, I may be broke, but I still have some standards because I'm not going to get yelled at no matter how much you pay me.
Right.
I'd rather work at the convenience store. And it didn't, once I decided that didn't matter what he said, he sent his law partner to try to convince me. And I'm like, no, I, how I don't expect him to change because I know people don't in general change.
Hmm.
So he may be nice to me for a couple of weeks to get me to stay and be the jackass he always was. So I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, I had a company, pretty well known company, call me several years ago to see if I would be interested in interviewing for a vice president of sales. And I told them no for two reasons. Number one, they told me the salary, and I was still making more money than that when I retired from Aflac. And I thought, well, that wouldn't even be doubling my income. It's probably not worth it. And then, but the other thing is, I doubt I would be a good employee because some young
no,
whippersnapper would say, "You're going to do this," and I would say, "I don't think so, Sparky."
Sparky.
It might end my career.
You say Sparky, and Bibster says, what does he say? Skippy. He says
Skippy,
Skippy.
Skippy,
Yeah,
it
they're
works
both
too.
derogatory terms. I get that.
Yep.
Deellen says, I came on when Lisa said it's just $5 a month. What did I miss? Deellen, it's the Association for Entrepreneurship. I'm working on that with John Fleming, who I believe you know him from Avon Corporate. He was one of the architects of the leadership program, which is Avon's network marketing program. And he is working on this project. And I was just looking at the website with him. We shared screen, and it has so much value, and it's only $5 a month. I'm going to put it in the group because I think it's that valuable of a thing. I
Absolutely.
certainly joined. $5 a month is, you wouldn't have to get much, just one article that made a difference to you. And it's got
Yep.
all these articles and links and connections. It's awesome.
And
Yeah, that,
sometimes those associations are one of the ways that small businesses or employers or individuals that are solopreneurs like what we are, it's a way they can get insurance products you can't get it any other way at a decent price. So it's a
well,
good
and they
pick up
have,
kind of thing.
right, they have those kind of connections too. Not just insurance, they have connections for other stuff where they're getting a better deal because there's a big group of people.
Right.
And Yellen, there's 200,000 that are already in it.
Well,
And I was talking to him because I think direct sellers are entrepreneurs too, many of us,
right.
and I think that's a good fit for us too, and he
Okay.
does too. So,
I was just
Maureen, go ahead.
I was reading Maureen's comment right there. She was talking about not getting a promotion at Kmart because the guy didn't think that people would take automotive advice from women. To show you how stupid that is against you, Maureen, is if someone asked me for advice about a car and they listened, you'd be way more qualified, even if you only know how to unlock the doors, than I would be. I'm a mechanical idiot. I'm kind of proud of it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Hey, Tammy Stockton's on.
Tammy?
Uh, yes, indeed. Yeah, and you know what's funny? You made me think of when I went to buy that 1-ton truck that I drove around the country.
Right.
That was funny because the car before that, the Hyundai, they may, even though my ex was not working at the time and I was earning six figures, they made him sign for the loan for that car. And I swore that would be the last time that happened. Right.
That reminds me when Laurie bought her most recent car. She drives a Lexus SUV, and she bought it. My wife's made her own money. She doesn't need me. She likes having me around, and it makes some things better. But she had her own money, and she bought her car with her own money. And the dealership, because I had bought a car there before, they unintentionally they titled it in my name, and there's
Oh
not a
God.
bit of darn thing we could do to get this all fixed.
Ugh.
And it's just been, bless her heart, it's been an annoyance, but I didn't cause it. I was just a cog in the wheel there.
Well, when I went to get the truck after having that experience with the Hyundai, I swore I wasn't gonna let them do that to me. And he
Right,
went with me because I don't know anything about trucks, and he did. So when
right.
we were sitting there,
Hi,
the
Penny.
salesman said, yeah, hi, Penny. The salesman said, "What can I do for you today?" Um, and he was looking at X. He was looking at him. And I said, "I'm the one buying a truck today." And when he got down to doing the paperwork and stuff, the financing and stuff, I had brought my 1099, and it was awesome. This was like the awesomest day. Um, I gave him the 1099, and he said, I'm going to go make a copy to attach it to your paperwork," or whatever he was doing. He didn't
Right.
realize I could hear them in the copy room, and he said, "Get a load of this chick's 1099. She's earning six figures." And I'm thinking, yeah.
Well, I go
They
I go
never
right
looked
there.
at him again in that whole conversation. They let me drive that truck home on my signature. I hadn't even finished the paperwork, and they let me drive it home.
Well, I do right the opposite. I go when I'm looking for a car, I'll put on gym shorts and a ratty looking t-shirt. Sometimes a
Right,
baseball
yeah.
cap, and I'll go in there, and I want to look like I can't
You can't
afford
afford
anything in
it.
here because I want to know which salesperson comes up to me anyway. And I haven't bought a vehicle in years. The last vehicle I bought is the one I still drive. It's a farm truck. When we want to go anywhere other than dirt roads, we take Laurie's car. But when I went in and
I've ridden
bought
in
that
Lori's
truck.
car.
You have
I
actually. When I picked you up, took you to the airport, I took you in Lori's car. When but what I do is when I bought that last one, it's a Ford F-150, and it was a brand new. It was a about a $50,000 truck when I bought it. It was like super expensive. But I walked in there like that, and the guy, he and I talked, and he said, "Well, how would you like to finance this?" I said, "Well, I thought I'd just give you money." And he went, "What?"
Did he have to
I said,
change his diaper?
I said, "Yeah, I thought I'd just write you a check." And he said, "But you need to finance it." I said, "No, I don't." he said, he said, "Well, if you'll finance it, I can get you." He said, "You have to make four payments, and then you can pay it off, and I can get you a bigger discount," because he was able to give me a discount. And I said, "Can I give you all four checks today?"
That's
I did actually do.
awesome.
I did it over four payments, just four equal payments to pay it off, because it saved me about $800.
Ooh, Kim's on. Hey, Kim. Kim was
Hey,
my
Kim.
roomie in DC, one of my roomies with Peg Duchesne. Lori down the Cape. Lori, how did they lose power on the Cape? I didn't hear about that happening. I didn't hear about that. Yay. Yeah.
I don't like power outages. We were without power here for a week when the hurricane went through. And it was so silly because it was only a Category 1 hurricane, which is normally not that big of a deal. And it did more damage than the last Category 3 we had
No.
that I stayed through.
And you don't have a generator? Or you do? You have
I
a
do,
coal
but it's out at the ranch.
Oh, oh yeah,
I
that's
had
right.
it here, and I bought it during the hurricane of 2008, and I've used it one time. It literally hasn't been cranked since fall of 2008.
Ooh,
And but it's out at the ranch anyway. So
you got it. Yeah, mine's on automatic. Automatic runs on Sundays for 20 minutes every other week. You
okay,
got to do that so you know it cranks up because 2008, you're going to be
mine's an
sorely
old fashioned
disappointed.
one. Mine, you run all the things you want to run off of it, and I wouldn't run an entire house off of it, but you can run
Oh, okay,
your
okay.
fans and your refrigerators and your freezers. You can do
Yeah.
all that, but you pour gas in it and you go.
Oh, no, I'm not doing that. Mine's hooked up to a propane tank, right?
Yep.
No, I was gonna get this one was 6 grand, believe it or not. We had some
Yep.
incentive. I paid for it out of Avon money. We had some big incentive at one time where we earned 15 grand all at one smacker.
Right.
But what I originally wanted was
Hi, Lisa.
uh, when the power went off, I wanted to go 3, 2, 1, and the whole thing come back up like it never was off. But I found out that was 15,000. That was the whole money, and I'm like, well, I don't know about
Well,
that. So what
you
I've
can buy
got
them
is
down
six.
here. You can buy them down here that are basically look like an air conditioner unit behind your house.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what I've
Runs
got.
on
Yeah.
the natural gas, and we have natural gas for the range and all that anyway. And so, and
Yeah,
I
that's
guess we
what.
have it probably for the water heater because when we lost power, we still had hot water too. So, and we can
Oh,
cook.
yeah. Yeah, the only thing I didn't put, this is awful, in the apartment, the little mother-in-law apartment I've got, I don't have the water heater on it. Other than that, um, all 5311 customers along Route 28 all through town. Oh, so you said equipment failure, so you don't know what happened yet. If it's on 28, you sure somebody didn't hit something or something? I don't know. Hey, that's funny. Lisa Williams is right near me. She's over in Maine.
Oh wow,
She's Dexter, Maine, not far. I mean, not far is 4 or 5 hours, but it's not
that's not far. That's not far at
in
all. I'm
the
driving that tomorrow to go to North Texas.
run right. Especially you, yeah, Texas. Everything's 4 or 5 hours from you, isn't it?
Yep, everything.
Yeah,
It will only. It can take you 4 hours to go around Houston. That's probably a little bit of an exaggeration, but I'll bet you it can take you two.
yeah, 4.5 hours. I can be in Yonkers. Just
Which is way more fun than circling Houston.
you got that right. Yeah, the whole experience has been awesome, of course, but I'm pretty happy with the my driving ability has increased immensely because I haven't driven this much in years and years, and I parallel parked that van probably 20 times now.
uh,
I can do
I'm
it,
impressed.
I think it was always a matter of repetition. I wasn't good at it because I never did it.
Yeah.
Well, Lori says I've been thinking about a generator for years, but haven't had trouble this long. Too many people. Well, I lost power for a week is when I bought mine. A
Hmm.
week in the winter. It felt like my house was attacking me. I
Well,
love this house, and it felt like the house was attacking me.
when we stayed through Hurricane Ike back in '08, we were without power 2 weeks, and it was in
Yeah.
September in Houston. And when the hurricane blows through, at least in that case, it took the humidity with it. So for a couple of days, it was pleasant. But then the normal humidity of Southeast Texas returned, and it was unbearable. And I said, I won't do that again. And on this one, we, that's category one. We use category ones to stir our coffee. It's not a big deal. This one was a big deal. And all around me, there were trees down everywhere. Trees that were
Oh,
pulled up by the root ball. That the root ball was
oh,
taller than me.
yeah.
But we stayed here like one night, and then we went over to Laurie's parents for a couple of nights, and then we had to go to Dallas anyway for a convention. So it worked out.
Pat said she just ate 2 yummy muffins. 2 whole muffins? What are you trying to kill me? What are you trying to kill you?
Uh,
That
Lisa sends me muffins and brownies all the time, but I don't think you've ever sent me a muffin. I'm just saying. I'm
oh,
kidding.
Pat, you should.
Pat, don't send me a muffin, please.
Yeah, you'd be fun with a muffin.
That'd be my new nickname. It'd be Jeff Muffin West.
Oh, geez. Yeah, we're gonna Pat. I'm staying at Pat's. That's coming right up. What's that? 3 weeks. We're doing the Avon convention. That's coming right up down in Boston. It's right near Pat's house. Um, I forgot the hotel, but I was originally going to stay at Pat's, and I messed everything up because I changed my mind. I'm going to stay there one night and then go into the hotel so we
Mhm.
can all save money um, because parking is so much.
Right, right.
Yeah, we're going to do that. But you
Hey,
know what
Pat.
got me? What got me to book is because in this lottery mentality right here. But sometimes, not every time, sometimes in DC it was true. When I checked in, they'd upgraded me. Avon had upgraded me. And they do that, but they don't tell me ahead they're going to do it.
Well, they
So
should do
if
that.
I didn't
You've been
stay there, I would miss out on an upgrade. But then I'll probably get down there and there won't be an upgrade. And then I'll be like,
But you've been Avon's fifth or fourth highest producer for 20 something years now. They should do that. Hey, Pat,
oh,
thanks for the question, Pat. Yes, Laurie had a great birthday on her the day before her birthday on Saturday. We actually went to a restaurant, a Korean barbecue restaurant in the Houston area with her family, and it's a hot pot thing, which is kind of like fondue, but it's more broth, and you're just doing different things. And it had a grill, and we had a good time. And then for her birthday, she and I did several things that day just for fun, and so we went to Top Golf and hit balls for an hour, and it was her wanting to do it, not me, and I'm
yeah.
the golfer. Although she is a good golfer, but that's
So
not
the
her.
bottom line, Pat, he's telling you they had pot for her birthday.
Not
You said
420.
what?
It
Pot.
was
Oh,
a
oh,
cooking utensil, a
oh. I
cooking
saw
vessel.
once you said pot, I stopped listening somehow. Pat says is putting his shots in Jello shots. You think we just go to convention to party? Well, then
Well,
again, right. Lori says I've always been on the same line as the hospital, so ours always comes back fast. Now the
right.
hospital has their own power plant, so Hurricane Bob was the worst outage we ever had. I'm on the paved road, which is my claim to fame here in town. Right. So we usually didn't lose power, and that time we lost it for a week. Things were bad if we didn't get back for a week. I'm not sure that could happen anymore because they
Right.
work pretty hard to make sure that doesn't happen anymore. But
Well, there were some areas around here that were without power longer than a week on this one, and,
ooh,
and it's because there's so much damage with trees. I drove through. Let's see, that was what 2, 3 weeks ago now. I drove through the neighborhood that's kind of close to ours here, that got hit really hard, and they had gotten almost all of the trees off the houses, and they were all cut up and in piles, not in the street, so that the city could come by and clean it up. But there was one house where there was still a tree on top of a car and it hadn't been cut up or anything.
no.
Yeah.
And you know what the sad truth of the matter is here, and Lori, this is for you too. Um, even when you're dealing with power outage or something's going on or the thing, you got to somehow find ways to work your business every day, because I've seen so many people say, well, I couldn't because I was staying in a hotel because we were out of power, whatever it was, a hurricane or whatever. And then I was so caught up in the getting the house fixed and everything, and months went by and they went inactive on their account and stuff. It's so easy to have happen that, to me, I just don't let a day pass where I'm not doing something. That way I don't let it slip by any amount of
Right.
time. But it's hard because with some, with some stuff like a power outage or a hurricane, you got so much to deal with. The last thing you want to do is think about serving your customers, but you have to, because time will take your business. Don't you think?
Oh yes, customers are like teeth. If you ignore them, they'll go away. So you need to take care of them.
Did you say teeth?
Uh-huh. Customers are like your teeth. If you ignore them, they're going to go away. So you got to take care of
I didn't know you were from Kentucky.
them. I'm from Georgia. Same thing.
Oh, I'm correct. I'm sorry.
Look, I've had a distant relative that went to his dentist and said, "Would you mind pulling every other tooth? I'd like to be able to floss with my toothbrush."
Yeah, Bibbs from West Virginia, Bibster.
Yes.
So he and I kid around that New Hampshire and West Virginia are sister states. Right,
Well, it's like
right.
Louisiana. I love my Louisiana people because Louisiana, I'm a redneck, and Louisiana, the Cajuns are rednecks with hot sauce, and I love hot sauce.
No, the time that gets me up here, and I need to write a book about some of this stuff, although it's still, if my relatives hear me telling this story, they're going to be mad. But so I'm sitting at one of my cousin's houses. One of the girlfriend's sisters has her false teeth on the table, complaining they don't fit well because she bought them off of the radio swap shop. They weren't even her teeth. She bought false teeth off a swap shop. Oh my god! I just sat there thinking, we're in West Virginia. I didn't even know they had swap shop on the radio anymore. And she bought false teeth, somebody else's false teeth, which means the person was probably dead
Right.
or something. Oh, anyway, right.
Well,
Right.
my mother's family, especially, but really my father's family, it was poor families. That's what it was, and so they didn't necessarily grow up with the same hygienic standards about things like that we do. But both my parents had full sets of dentures in their 30s.
Right, and my mother did too. Pat said gross. Yeah, you're telling me. I couldn't believe I was sitting there, and they're all so seriously discussing that she overpaid, and I think she gave them $20 or something because they didn't fit her, but they weren't going to. They were, and I just kept thinking, this is like the hillbilly Twilight Zone.
There's got to be some joke about a granny and a grandpa somewhere mixing their teeth up and it looking funny when they did it. It's got to be some joke about that.
That is one thing I didn't count on when I was sitting there in the trailer park thinking I was going to conquer the world, is that the people around me and, like relatives and friends and stuff, they don't necessarily want to conquer the world, and they don't necessarily want to travel and see stuff. So then when I do get to do stuff like that and I sit around talking to them about it, they have a look on their face like I'm making it up because it's so outlandishly awesome, but it really happened. And it's like, it's not fun to tell if they look at you like you're making it up.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Lori said it is amazing to see all the staging they do with trucks from all over Canada, California, hundreds of trucks. We're expecting a big storm. Oh, I am working my business. Awesome. On my tablet and using cell data. Just finished my deliveries, got home, plugged in my phone, and the lights entered out. Awesome. Well, I hope yours comes back pretty soon, Lori. And for being right on it, working on your tablet. I know it's hard, but
Yeah.
it's to
Well,
not lose your momentum is worth it, in my opinion.
every
Yeah.
salesperson in any industry, especially when you're a solopreneur, like a indirect sales or whatever, your income's going to follow your activity. So if your activity goes down, your income's going down with it. Goes up, it's going to come up, but it's always going to be a little lag time there.
And it's not immediate. Yeah. You always say that too. For me, I always looked at it like it was 6 months. It probably was shorter than that, but I always thought that in my head that whatever I'm doing right now for leadership anyway, when I build a team, when I bring somebody on, I'm not going to see money from that particular person for probably 6 months while they get up and going and whatever they're going to, yeah.
Right.
But
It's like in the
sales is a
insurance
little bit,
industry. We were business to business sales calling on employers. And if you were doing everything right, it was still going to be a 3 week lag.
yeah,
Because by the time you made your presentation, they said yes, you got the enrollment set, you did the enrollment, you transmitted the business into the carrier, that's a little time there. And then they process it and then they pay you. So that there's just this arch. And what I would teach people is when the most dangerous time for a salesperson is when you just land a nice account with good pay, because you tend to get lazy and think you don't have to prospect anymore. So I would teach them to make sure they did at least 2 hours of prospecting every day,
yeah,
regardless of whether they just made the biggest sale that ever made in their life, because that would keep the next sale coming. So,
yeah. And you have to keep your funnel full, your
yep.
funnel. Yes, indeedy. Well,
My
we're
funnel
already
is
at
full and
time.
my cup runneth over. So
Your
there.
cup runneth over. Your coffee cup, I'm sure. Well,
I
sir,
can't, one thing I can add to this at all now.
okay. Let's see. Lori says takes a little thinking to rework what you usually do, get around the diversity diversion from the norm. Yeah. But sometimes there's big opportunities. I remember when the big giant hurricane that wiped out New Orleans,
Mm-hmm.
one of the reps down there, Karen Tucker, she had a big problem because all her leaders were right around her. That was a problem. But what she did do was immediately ordered a gazillion deodorant and hand cream and stuff and put tables out and sold it and did huge sales, personal sales. So thinking about how you could take advantage of something like that is not a bad thing. And then you've got all those customers for down the road after the emergency's over.
Yeah. Well, I'm meeting with a salesperson
Katrina.
tomorrow. Yeah. I'm meeting with a salesperson tomorrow because 1 month from today, I go on Medicare. And so I have
Oh,
to get all that lined up. Because they put you on there the first day of your birthday month.
yeah.
And my agent on that happens to be my wife, Lori. And so I've got an appointment with her tomorrow. And I'm going to give her a hard time. I'm going to be difficult. By the way, if any of you are approaching the same age that I am, and if you're looking for someone to help you with Medicare, if she's licensed in your state, she'll definitely help you.
No, I need help.
You're
I'm
not
not
old
there
enough
yet.
yet.
I
Yep.
know. I'm still a young chick.
Plus, since you've been dating Ty, you're aging backwards. You're getting younger. So.
That is correct, and don't forget it, mister. Okay, everybody, we are going to go already. I can't believe it. Our time is getting short, too. We're going to have a big shindig for your birthday.
What day?
So,
Let's see. My birthday
right,
is
your
my birthday.
birthday is on a Sunday, though. So, do you want to do it on a Sunday? The week before, you're not available anyway. So,
Let's
I
see.
don't know what you
What's
want
going on
to
the week
do.
before? Let's see. That's September.
26th,
Actually,
the week before.
I've got to be at a book fair. Hang on
Right.
here. Let me. Uh,
Yeah, I have you
but
as unavailable.
originally I thought I was going to be completely gone to the Washington State. That's not going to happen yet. That's gotten put off. So if you want to do it on the 26th, we can.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
it might
Okay,
even
that
it,
can
it
be
might
it
have been
then.
kind of fun to do it live from that book fair even. So
Oh, yeah. Okay, so that's coming up September 26th, I believe, and that's going to be the last show.
yep.
We're going to round it up.
I'm so glad we had this time together.
Yeah.
I'm probably breaking a ton of copyright laws, even just singing one line of those songs. I've sung entire songs before. We didn't get
But
any trouble, so I guess it's
I've
okay.
got some sneaky fun stuff up my sleeve. I know. And
Yikes!
so we want to get going and have a big party at the end. And it's not the end of the road, it's just the end of the show because you have some other books to promote. So that's
Yeah,
awesome. So
life is going on. I've got a meeting next week with someone who used to be on Fox Business News about the possibility of doing a book. So
nice.
things
Well,
are
that's awesome.
jumping around. So we'll see what happens.
Well, that's awesome. Well, we will go for tonight. I'm going to put this up in our library. We've got 70
The dog crew's here.
episodes that we've recorded together, plus a whole ton of interviews. So if you want to see some fun interviews, go to some of the early ones. They're funny. I'm going to put out some more shorts on that because we have some really funny stuff, I think. The one where you just went back in the chair laughing always gets me. Yeah. I know. I love that one. Anyway, thank you, everybody. Love you.
Bye, guys. Love you guys.
Do you remember with Noel and Robert?
Yeah.
Rolled back in